Hi all, this is BRR. Today's topic is Amazon Web Services introduction. What is Amazon Web Services? Shortly we call as AWS. So AWS was there in the market since 15 years. It is a collection of remote computing services called web services, and then we'll be calling as Amazon Web Services because it was introduced by Amazon company. So these web services make up a cloud computing platform offered via internet. So they're offering the cloud computing services through internet. So then it is called as a web services kind of naming they have provided. So we delivered web-based cloud services for a storage, computing, database, and more, etc., etc. Basically, this AWS mission enables the business and developers to use web services to build scaling sophisticated applications. If you want to deploy an enterprise level application or product based application, so we need more huge resources to deploy the application into servers. So these things can takes time and takes more in pricing and etc etc. So we are also many problems facing in several kind of deployments. So to avoid all these things, they have been come up with web services like cloud computing services, to build scalable applications. So web services is what people are calling now as a cloud. So nowadays people are calling it as a cloud. Cloud is nothing but a web services. So basically, this AWS was launched in 2006 basically, but initially it was started in 1994. We'll see what is this history in next slide. Before that, we'll see what is the introduction of this. Amazon Web Services is a complete developing cloud computing platform provided by Amazon. So as I said, this was provided by Amazon company from US. So Jeff Bezos is the person who has launched this AWS. It provides mix of several services to use the computing services like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. We'll talk about more on the next slides. So as I said, it was launched, officially in 2006 from the internal infrastructure that Amazon.com built to handle its online retail operations. So AWS was one of the first companies to introduce a pay-as-you-go cloud computing model that scales to provide users with compute, storage, throughput as needed. So if you want any resource or if you want any infrastructure, so you go and log into the website and you pay. So what kind of infrastructure you require, what kind of configurations you require, based on that they will provide some pricing list. So once you select the pricing list and provide the details, then they will provide you a resource and login details, and you can directly use it. This is was the first one of the first company introduced as a pay as you go cloud computing model in that scales to provide users. More than 100 services comprise the Amazon Web Services portfolio. So nowadays, including those for compute databases, infrastructure management, application development, and security. So this is what is the history and the persons who are using this. When it comes to next slide, this is what the history of Amazon. So as I said, it was initially incorporated by Amazon company by Jeff Bezos. So in 1994, and in 1995 they were launched the online bookstore. So here in this year they were launched bookstoring online UI for purchasing of books and looking at the books. And then in 2005 they have launched Amazon Publishing, and 2006 the official AWS was launched. That means this cloud was launched in 2006. And then in 2007, they were launched, Kindle launched, and then 2012 they were launched games, and then 2013 they were launched Amazon Arts, and etc. They were launched Kindle stores in 2017. So this is all about the history, when they were started, and Initially, they were started with an online shopping, and then they were started bookstore and publishing and web services, cloud computing, and Kindle launched, and games, arts, the Kindle games, storage. So several, I mean, like nowadays, I think if you look at in other service which they have provided, like online food delivery kind of thing. So there were a lot of things they were launched since from 1994, but this AWS Amazon Web Services was launched in 2006. So that year they were launched this cloud. So this is what the history of Amazon history. And as we discussed, so this Amazon Web Services has provided different services like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So what is this actually IaaS? So selecting right, cloud computing for your need can help you strike the right balance of control and the avoidance of undifferentiated heavy lighting. So that is what the benefit of these selecting the right cloud computing. So from these services like IaaS and PaaS and SaaS, so you have to select based on the requirement. So what is this IaaS basically? So infrastructure as a service can be abbreviated as an IaaS, sometimes abbreviated as IaaS, contains the basic building blocks of the cloud IT for your IT industry, and typically provide access to networking features. So if you look at here, it contains the cloud IT blocks. Typically, like you can access a network facility networks in this. So computers like virtual on dedicated hardware, like if you look at VPN, VPCs, and data storage space, infrastructure as a service provides you with the highest level of flexibility and management control over your IT resources. So this, instead of like maintaining everything on your local or somewhere in your organization, like this virtual machines or VPN or some other database servers and other production servers kind of thing, if you can maintain everything on cloud, like in IaaS, infrastructure as a service, so you can have more flexibility, highest level of flexibility to manage or control over your IT resources very easily, and is more similar to existing IT resources that many IT departments and developers are familiar with today's development aspects. So if you can purchase this IaaS from the cloud, so you can have easily, I mean, you can have more flexibility to manage and control your resources, like to avoid uncertainties and the performance kind of problems or maintenance problems very easily. This looks how the diagram, the flow is going to provide in AWS. So here this service provider can provide all the required stuff for your users, and you can sit on your system and you can access your resources from the Amazon Web Services. Okay, this is all about IaaS. And what is the next service? This is a PaaS. This is platform as a service. So earlier, that is the IaaS is an infrastructure we are going to purchase. When it comes to this platform, so we can purchase platform from the AWS. Platform as a service, definitely remove the need for organization, like to manage the underlying infrastructure, usually hardware and operating system, and dedicated softwares like based on the development. The developer team is going to work on like Java, .NET, or Unix, or operating system, Windows, something kind of thing. Everything can be get it from the AWS and allow you to focus on the deployment and management of your applications. So if you purchase the platform as a service kind of service from the AWS, so you will get all these things like hardware and operating systems and softwares which you required. So based on like your configurations you provided when you purchase PaaS. So once you get all these things, so everything can be on cloud and you can easily manage things from the cloud. So definitely this helps you more efficient, as you don't need to worry about resource procurement, like purchasing of new resource. Like let us say I have 3 web servers today, and tomorrow I may get another project where it requires huge configuration and a number of servers. So I don't want like bother about, I'm not bother about like purchasing of different servers from the different vendors and going there and getting a request and bargaining with them and getting the resource, again deploying and again managing and monitoring. These kind of things I don't bother about all these things when I go for platform as service from the AWS. So like as I said, definitely it helps you more efficient. So you should not bother about like resource procurement, capacity planning, software maintenance, or patching, or any of other undifferential heavy lifting involved in running of your application. So everything can be in the AWS, so no need of worrying about all these things, and you can get everything from the AWS. So if you look at here in the diagram, so everything can be available in cloud. So you get it from the cloud as a platform instead of purchasing single by single. Like we require operating system, we require .NET, we require some app, or we require some other resource, we require some RAM kind of thing. Not that kind of thing. You just configure, select the configuration which you required as a whole complete platform, and you purchase it, and you directly access it to avoid so many kind of things. Okay, this is all about PaaS. And coming to the software as a service, this is the last service provided by the cloud. So software as a service provides you with a completed product that is run and managed by the service provider. If I can say, this is mixing of PaaS and IaaS. This contains complete product features that is run and managed by the service provider. In most cases, people referring this SaaS to end user applications. Yes, because the end user can come on and work on AWS, and they can purchase this SaaS and they can deploy everything on cloud, so that they will have all things at one place, and they can access and they can verify the functionality of their applications. So the companies also offering the vendors to purchase SaaS on cloud. So with the SaaS offering, you to do not have a think about how services is maintained or how the underlying infrastructure is managed. You only need to think about how you will use that particular piece of software. A common example of SaaS application is web-based email, where you can send and receive email without having to manage feature like additions to the email product or maintaining the servers and operating system that the mail program is running on. Example, it worth actually, it makes sense, because so this example basically shows you like web-based email sending, where you can send and receive an email without having the managed feature additions. Like I don't want to manage my mail server, SMTP server configurations, or mail accounts in my local server. Everything can be on AWS. So I can send a mail and I can receive a mail like how Office 365 is working on it. So that kind of thing we can have in a SaaS service provider, where it can maintain servers and operating systems. So all the required stuff on the cloud. So and the mail running program and everything can be configured there. So we don't bother about all these things. If you can purchase the SaaS entire product, so everything can become in a single package. App server, database, network, species, everything can be get it from the SaaS service provider. So this is all about the SaaS service library. So and last one is, what is the difference between these three services? So if you look at IaaS, applications and data and operating system and virtualization, server, storage, networking. So in the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, we only managing applications and data and operating systems, and rest of the things are managed by vendor. Okay. If you look at the platform as a service, so in this, applications and data are managed by ourselves, and remaining operating system and other virtualization, server, storage, networking are maintained by the vendor. And coming to SaaS, everything can be maintained by a vendor only. We are not going to maintain anything, and we are not worrying about anything in the SaaS. So SaaS includes everything, IaaS and PaaS features which are in individual. We have seen like in this applications, data, operating systems, and applications and data. Everything can be in the SaaS, and this SaaS can be managed by a vendor, and we are not bothered about it. We are just accessing the SaaS from the cloud. So hope this helps you, like what is the difference between IaaS and PaaS and SaaS. So and what is cloud and what is the Amazon Web Services. Thank you.